Joseph Daniels, a battle-hardened veteran who served 30 years on the front lines and lost his leg defending his country, returns home hoping for peace. Instead, the fight continues, this time against the very neighbors meant to protect his community. When HOA Karen orders him to remove the wheelchair ramp crucial to his survival, Joseph's world shakes. But what happens next shocks everyone. A judge's ruling that not only grants Joseph justice but delivers a stunning blow to Karen's relentless cruelty. This is a story of resilience, racism, and an unlikely victory. Joseph Daniels was no stranger to hardship. After losing his leg in combat, his spirit remained unyielding, a symbol of resilience. Retiring to a quiet suburban neighborhood, he sought nothing more than a calm life with his wife, Linda. But comfort was elusive. The Homeowners Association, led by an outspoken woman named Karen, prided itself on rigid rules bordering on hostility. Joseph's request to install a wheelchair ramp, a necessity, not a luxury, became a lightning rod for Karen's intolerance. Though Joseph and Karen shared the same community, their values clashed brutally. Karen, known for her loud voice and dominant influence in HOA meetings, immediately dismissed his reasonable accommodation request as an eyesore that would undermine the neighborhood's aesthetic appeal. Behind her dismissive tone, there lurked a disturbing prejudice that Joseph felt but couldn't directly confront, an invisible barrier tied to history and race. The ramp wasn't just wood and metal. It was a gateway to Joseph's independence, a symbol of sacrifice misunderstood by those like Karen who wielded power without empathy. Days turned into weeks as Karen's crusade escalated from verbal warnings to formal orders demanding Joseph dismantle the ramp or face fines. The community watched, divided and anxious. Joseph refused to back down. The fight that had defined his military career now found a new battlefield, the courtroom. This conflict wasn't just about a ramp. It became a test of dignity and racial justice, set against the backdrop of a nation still grappling with its past. The tension escalated rapidly. Karen's disdain grew more vocal and hostile, convincing a small but vocal faction of neighbors to side with her. They feared change or perhaps something deeper unspoken. Joseph's every step outside his front door became a reminder of isolation. Calls and notes with subtle threats appeared. Whispers spread about the problem Joseph represented. Even enforcers of HOA rules seemed swept up in Karen's agenda, applying fines and deadlines with cold precision. Despite the mounting pressure, Joseph rallied support from a local veterans group and civil rights activists who saw his fight as emblematic of broader issues. The legal team assembled was prepared to argue not only the Americans with Disabilities Act but also a subtext of racial discrimination, the unspoken truth behind Karen's relentless campaign. Joseph's story soon gained traction in local media, lending a spotlight that Karen desperately tried to avoid. The courtroom became a battleground for principles. Evidence was presented showing how Karen had disproportionately targeted Joseph compared to others in the community, including witnesses testifying about her past behavior steeped in racial bias. The judge listened intently, absorbing not just facts but the palpable injustice woven into the dispute. Throughout the trial, Joseph's quiet dignity contrasted sharply with Karen's aggressive demeanor. Joseph's lawyer highlighted a poignant truth: the ramp was not just an architectural feature, but a lifeline and right mandated by law. Removing it would strip Joseph of fundamental access and independence. Expert testimony on disability rights made it clear the HOA's rejection crossed legal boundaries, fueled by prejudice rather than policy. Karen's attempt to mask intolerance with HOA rules fell apart under scrutiny. After days of emotional testimony and heated arguments, the moment of reckoning arrived. The courtroom was packed as the judge read aloud the decision that had been anxiously awaited. The ruling was clear. The HOA must not only allow Joseph's wheelchair ramp but also pay $50,000 in damages for violating his rights. Karen sat frozen, her expression a mixture of disbelief and shame. The judge condemned Karen's actions as an abuse of power rooted in discriminatory intent, emphasizing that fairness and respect must govern community life, not personal biases. The verdict sent a strong message: no one, not even a vocal HOA member, is above the law. Karen's attempt to silence a veteran and deny him basic dignity was shattered. For Joseph, the ruling was more than a legal victory. It was the restoration of honor and acknowledgement of his sacrifices. The courtroom erupted in quiet applause, many moved by the courage of a man fighting systemic injustice on his home turf. Though the scars of hostility remained, Joseph had reclaimed his right to live fully and freely. Karen's reign of intolerance had ended, her reputation diminished. The $50,000 penalty echoed beyond personal consequences, signaling a warning to others who might seek to deny justice in similar cases. The judge's words lingered: a community's strength lies in inclusion, not exclusion. Joseph's wheelchair ramp stood not just as a physical structure but as a testament to resilience against injustice. Joseph's battle was hard-fought, transforming a local HOA dispute into a powerful lesson on justice, dignity, and racial equity. In the aftermath, the community slowly began to heal, recognizing the harm caused by prejudice cloaked in petty rules. For Joseph, it was a hard-won freedom, a reclaiming of independence that few understood but many admired. Karen's defeat exposed how deeply bias can permeate everyday life, hidden in neighborhood meetings, amplified by fear of difference. Joseph's story shed light on the intersection of disability and racial injustice, a reminder that the fight for equity is ongoing and multifaceted. With every support ramp installed and every accommodation granted, progress inches forward. The $50,000 ruling wasn't just compensation, it was recognition. Recognition of the sacrifices Joseph made and the systemic barriers he endured. His resilience became a beacon for others facing discrimination, proving that courage and legal recourse can triumph, even against entrenched injustice. Joseph often reflected on the war he fought overseas, and the battles he now faced at home. The fight was no longer on distant fields but in courtrooms and communities, with stakes just as high. He posed a question that echoes beyond his neighborhood: how many others suffer in silence, denied the dignity they deserve? The story resonates deeply because it is all too real, rooted in history, lived in the present, and demanding a fairer future. Joseph Daniels' victory is a testament to endurance and hope, inspiring those who dare to stand firm against injustice. It challenges all of us to confront discrimination in all its forms, in every corner of society.